So hey everybody, welcome to a Brilliant Businesses podcast. My name is Nick Bryant, and this morning I'm very pleased to be welcomed by Darren Austin from Synergy Chartered Accountants and Business Advisors.
Good morning, Nick. Lovely to be here.
Good to see you, mate. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. How's yourself?
Very good, very good. It's a lovely autumnal morning out there. And,
yeah, a very pleasant walk around here in the sunshine.
Very good, very good. So, Darren's going to start off by telling us about his story and his journey and how Synergy came about. A lot of people probably know, but it's a really interesting story. So if you could start by that, and then we'll go into some other stuff.
Yeah, sure. It's 40-odd years, so I'll try and condense it a little bit. It all started because I was leaving school in 1981 with no idea what I wanted to do. Well, I had an idea, and it was nothing.
Yes.
And my dad got me an interview at a firm of accountants in Victoria. So I rocked up to the interview with my dad in tow.
Yeah.
The senior partner interviewed my father, said, "Can the boy do maths?" Yes, and it was agreed. So 6th of July 1981, I wandered into Dodd Harris in Victoria and started as an accountant. And I thought, well, I'll stick this till something better comes along. And after quite a long period of time there, I realised nothing better was coming along. But actually, I could do the job, but you didn't get paid unless you were qualified.
Right.
So I suddenly started doing A-levels at evening class. Got A-level accounts and economics, I think, and then when I went on to do the equivalent of a degree at Maidstone College, Mid-Kent College, and from that I went on to do my professional exams, and then qualified as a chartered accountant in 93 or 94 or something like that. Yeah. So I was 14 years with that first firm that I popped into without really knowing what I was doing. And then I moved on from there, worked at a couple of larger firms in London, on the Aldwych and in Charing Cross, cut my teeth on some much bigger clients, which was great. So I now had a really good grounding in smaller businesses and some larger multinationals. And then I moved to Tunbridge Wells to take up some work with the guy I'd met when I was doing my training.
Yeah.
97, I moved to Tunbridge Wells, did that for a few years. And then eventually I ended up as a director of a firm down in Uckfield, where I met Matt, who's now my business colleague and co-owner of Synergy. And we were having a chat one day, and as with a lot of these things, we thought we could do things better. But as a minority shareholder in the firm I was in, with the other people not enamoured with my ideas, we decided to part company, and Matt and I set up Synergy. And we made an offer, and we purchased a significant portion of our client base from the previous firm. Yeah. And we set up Synergy in 2007.
Wow.
So yeah, almost. Well, we're in year 15 now.
Yeah.
And yeah, really pleased with how it's going.
Yeah, I mean, I like your story because it's quite similar to a lot of people. When you leave school, you don't really know what to do. A lot of people don't know what to do. I don't know if it's good or bad whether you do or you don't. But they go into a corporate job which they do enjoy, but then they realise they can do it better than that person you've been working for. And therefore, a lot of love comes through to the new position.
Absolutely. We had this very clear idea, this focused idea on what we wanted to deliver. And in fact, it's where the name and the original logo came from, because having worked with businesses, we realised the ones that were really successful had common traits. They knew where they were, where they wanted to be, how they were going to get there, and worked towards that. And we thought they were great. Each of those was, little puzzle pieces, was good on its own, but together, the whole was greater than the sum of the parts. There was a certain synergy to it. And when we were discussing, that's where the name came from. Because when Matt and I one day were discussing this plan before we went and burnt our bridges and made our offer to buy ourselves out of the previous firm, that's what we come up with, and that's what led to the logo of the puzzle pieces coming together, the name Synergy, and this desire that, yes, we're going to do accounts and tax returns because that's what a lot of clients need, but what we really wanted to be was a resource to support clients in their desires to grow. A lot of businesses, very ambitious, know where they want to be, but haven't necessarily got the internal resources, the financial director. Yeah. Whereas if we could put those bits to it, we could help them with the forecasting, the cash flows, all the strategies that they need. They could get on with what they wanted to do, and we'd be there to support them. And we could do their accounts at the year end as well. But that's where the name came from.
A really important part of the puzzle, that bit, isn't it, on a business?
Absolutely.
So you've got a new website, which is one of the reasons we invited you here to talk about it, with a new kind of strapline, slogan.
Yeah.
Slogan, yes.
Slogan, that'll do. The original website was written 14 years ago, and it was great, but we tried to be all things to all people when we set up, which I think is quite normal. And what we wanted to do was focus much more on who we want to help and how.
Yeah.
So the slogan we've come up with is Sat Nav for Business,
Excellent.
which is still very reflective of that original, the puzzle pieces.
Yeah.
So the Sat Nav idea is, to plan a journey, you've got to know where you are, where you want to get to. You've got to plan your route, but then you've got to monitor your progress. And as you take these little detours because things go wrong, the sat-nav warns you and says, right, hang on, we've got to change that and get back on track.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we want to do with our business clients.
Yeah.
And again, we'll still do your accounts at the year end if that's what you want, but we much more want to be with you on that journey rather than just helping you market at the end and keeping compliant.
So those three: where you are, where you want to be, and where you want to get to.
Yeah, so the where you are is your management information.
Yeah.
So whether that's monthly, quarterly, whatever's important for your business, your management accounts should tell you not only how you're doing, what your turnover, your profit, whatever's key to you, but what's delivering that, what service lines are working, what product sales are driving it. But even the information behind that, how did I get to that sales? How many opportunities to quote did I get? How many of those converted? Were they at the right price? Your management information, as the name suggests, is the information for management that they need. So at the end of the day, you can make informed business decisions and pick up things that are working and correct things that are not. So that's your management information.
Yeah.
The where you are, the where you want to be. A variety of ways of looking at that. We normally help clients build models of what they want their business to look like, forecasts.
Yeah.
And those forecasts could be anything from the next 12 months to the next 5 years. Obviously, the further out you're looking to forecast, the much more difficult it is.
Yeah.
And when we build those forecasts, we build into it monthly targets. We build them on a monthly basis, and we can play what if scenarios. What if I take on that new service line and it works or it doesn't work? Do I need to take on new employees, new premises to make that work? So we can build that all in and create a set of targets that they can then use so that when they're looking at their management information, this is what I wanted, this is what I've got, what's worked, what hasn't. And it also helps build in the how do I do it? So you can say, well, I'm going to need some finance, I'm going to need some new staff. And it becomes a bit like the sat-nav plan in the journey. We've now planned your route towards the business you want to be.
Yeah.
And then the important bit is just the regular review.
Of course, yeah.
Sit back, what's worked, what hasn't. Was the plan too ambitious? Or however it is.
Yeah, it sounds a really good sort of flight path of where people want to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just got in a car and started driving, you're going to end up somewhere, but it's probably not going to be where you wanted to be.
Yeah.
And it's the same with a business. If you just head down every day and are cracking on, you might be missing opportunities to direct your efforts in the right direction.
And a lot of business owners, new business owners, or maybe ones that have been around for a while, don't understand that or don't know that. They're just so heads down, aren't they, getting on with what they do?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's I think it's a Michael Gerber book. The
E-Myth.
The E-Myth,
yes.
Exactly. And he talks about a lot of businesses are started by someone having what he terms an entrepreneurial seizure.
Yes.
Because they're great at the technical aspects of the job, whether that's an accountant or whatever it happens to be. So they say, well, I want to do this myself. And the problem that brings is they might be great at the technical aspect and the delivery, but actually when you've suddenly got a business, it's the operations, the marketing, the HR, the people skill, all the other bits that go with it and tracking how you're doing. And we can help businesses by plugging in those bits they haven't got.
Yeah.
And if it's skills we haven't got, we know people that have got them, so we can bring that full picture to it.
Yeah, that's great. That's really cool. So who are your ideal clients, or who do you like working with best?
We predominantly work with private, family-owned businesses.
Yeah.
Love working with them all, typically, but an ideal client is an aspirational business.
Okay.
So a business that wants to grow, they've got a clear idea of where they want to get to, but they're not at the size yet where they've got the internal resources to support that, so they haven't got a financial director or financial controller. That's where we can work alongside them and help translate their ideas into tangible targets with plans of how to get there, how to structure the business, and just give that level of support that they probably won't have access to on their own.
Okay, yeah. Cloud accounting is a massive thing at the moment as well, and with making tax digital, that sort of thing. That's a big part of your business and your advisory process, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we've certainly embraced cloud accounting.
Yeah.
It's got some superb benefits and, to be honest, a few downsides. The benefits of cloud accounting, pretty good entry-level price because you're just renting it. You've always got the latest software.
Yeah.
Because it's sitting in the cloud, it's collaborative. So,
Yeah.
your accountant can see it, the directors can see it, the bookkeeper, if you've got someone working somewhere else. It makes getting your information and working together much, much better. And it's always been tinkered with, and there are always third parties writing apps. So if there's anything that's important, stock control, CRM systems, things like auto entry that push information into it.
Yeah.
It's really exploding, the technology. Love working with it. It's made the job much easier. I think the downside is you've got to remember, though, it is just a tool.
Yeah.
And I've used the analogy before that I'm awful at DIY. And if there are some brilliant tools out there for doing DIY. There are fantastic saws I've seen that cut at all different angles and are much better than using a manual saw.
Yeah.
But if someone showed me how to use that, it wouldn't make me a carpenter.
Yeah. Right.
And it's the same with cloud tools. Cloud accounting is absolutely superb, but it doesn't take away the fact that you've got to know what you need to put in, what you want out of it, and what you want it to do. It just makes it easier if you've got that level of experience.
Yeah.
So a bit like me with a tool, if you're not careful with it, it could just help you destroy things a lot quicker than if you were doing it manually.
Yeah.
So they're absolutely great, but take the right advice and make sure it's giving you what you need.
Yeah. And you work specifically with QuickBooks, don't you? I mean, but they're all...
There's a lot of great programs.
Yeah.
QuickBooks is our preferred one.
Yes.
We know it a lot better. We've probably got 300-400 clients using QuickBooks, and we're a platinum partner with them.
Right.
But we've also got clients on QuickBooks, on Sage One, on Free
Okay.
Agent. So we will work with any of them.
Right.
But if someone asks us to recommend, typically QuickBooks will be the one, as long as it's got all the bells and whistles that they need to manage their business.
Okay. And I know you've changed your business model as far as where you work and where your people work, haven't you? Obviously from COVID. So tell us a bit about that.
Yeah. Well, like a lot of businesses, March last year, things all changed. We took the decision very early on for safety because we didn't quite know what was happening. Yep, everyone worked from home.
Yeah.
Lucky we were in a business that lends itself quite well to that happening. So if our employees didn't have the equipment, we got them computers, dual screens, and made sure they had all the right equipment. They weren't working from home, balance with a laptop on their lap sort of thing, and it was reasonably comfortable to do. We suddenly became very quickly used to Zoom and Teams, which were things we'd not particularly used before. But it works for us. And actually, even though now we could go back to the office, we've spoken to all the staff. They've all said either they want to completely carry on working remotely because it suits their lifestyle with young children and dropping them to and from nursery and other things, or just, well, we don't really want to travel 45 minutes each way each day if I can work 2 or 3 days from home. So the model for us going forward is we're going to move to smaller offices. We're currently 13 staff.
Right. Yes.
But we'll probably only have room in the new office for, say, 6 desks to start with, which will be completely set up with computers, dual screens, etc.
Yeah.
And people will hot desk.
Yeah.
So,
right.
and I can see, I think the most we've got is one of our guys wants to come in 2 days a week, and the rest have said 0 to 1. So we're just going to see how that goes. And if everyone starts to want to come in more, we'll just get bigger offices. Yeah,
just adapt to it, that's the beauty of it. And I guess going back to talking about cloud accounting, that makes your life easy for that sort of thing as well, because you can all dip into each one's, all your clients from wherever.
Absolutely. We moved our own internal systems all to the cloud, so everything's logged in. You can access it from wherever you are.
Yeah.
But as you say, the majority of our clients are on now some form of cloud software, so we can dip in. Quite a number of our clients are on a monthly subscription-based service where we do review their accounts every month, and we'll go through a high level. Have you checked the bank? Does this work? Does anything look strange? So we can give them some feedback. So if there are any issues, we spot them early on rather than wait until after the year end's passed and find that there was an issue or something that's been going wrong for the last 6 months.
Yeah, gets you ahead of the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how do you get work? How do you market your business? I know you do some networking and some B&I stuff.
Yeah, well, obviously brilliant businesses is a great source. Thanks for that, Nick. That works well.
Yeah.
Our biggest single source of introductions is referrals from other clients.
Okay. Yeah.
Closely followed by B&I, and then it's a variety of things such as social media. We've got some introducers, some local professionals we work regularly with that we pass business back and forth.
Yeah. Cool. Well, it's all working because you're growing nicely, aren't you? So
it's going in the right direction. I'm pleased to say.
And so, future plans? What? Just keep doing what you're doing and supporting your businesses.
Absolutely. Yeah. when we started 14 years ago, 2 staff. We're now 13.
Yeah.
We've got ambitions for that to continue to grow over the next few years.
Yeah.
We are certainly picking up a lot of new work, which we're very pleased with, and new work of the type where it's great we can get our teeth into it and support clients in their ambitions, which is what we want to do. We've highly systemised the business, so even though we're working remotely, we've got a really good overview of workflow, what's coming up, who's doing what, and where it all is.
Yeah.
So it's still a work in progress. There are always things we want to tweak, and we'll just keep tweaking that to make sure it works as the business grows.
Yeah, it's what it's all about, isn't it? Just finding your way as you go sometimes.
Yeah.
But having a plan as well, of course.
Absolutely, having a plan. We've got a very clear idea of where we want to get that to.
Yeah.
It's headed in the right direction.
Good for you, mate.
Sometimes 2 forward and 1 back.
Yeah,
but that's life.
That's life and business, isn't it? Good for you. That's really cool. Thank you for joining us today, Darren. It's been great to see you, and for sharing your story and what's going on with Synergy. Everyone check out Darren's new website. The details are on, all Darren's details are on the Brilliant Businesses website, and I'll put the website details underneath this podcast and YouTube video. I think it's www.synergy.org.uk. Yeah, so have a look at that. And if anyone needs any business support, any business advice, they're starting a business, anything, Darren is a great guy to talk to. He's very open and he'll help you in any way he can.
Love to.
If you like what we're doing, please subscribe. Thank you for joining us, Darren. Good to see you again. And we'll see everyone for another podcast really soon. Thank you very much.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Nick.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers.